Hey, what's up you guys, and welcome to Movie Talk. So last night as I'm recording this video, I saw A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. Now this movie is about Mr. Rogers. In case you guys don't know who Mr. Rogers is, he was a child television host, kind of like Blue's Clues and stuff like that. And so the role was played by Tom Hanks. Now the interesting fact about Tom Hanks that I didn't even know about until just yesterday is that Tom Hanks is a distant relative of Mr. Rogers. That's right. Apparently Tom Hanks is related to some of Mr. Rogers' cousins. So, still don't think he's meant for the role? I think he's meant for the role now. So the story follows journalist Lloyd Vogel as he is set on an assignment to profile Mr. Rogers for a brand new magazine. He too is battling some situations in his personal life. He's got his wife, his kid, and he's got a bad, rocky relationship with his father. And while he's interviewing Mr. Rogers from time to time, he's wondering why Mr. Rogers is such an odd character. Because he's always so happy. And that's the way Mr. Rogers always was. He was always such a kind, happy individual. Also, by the way, if you want any more information about the real Mr. Rogers, be sure to watch this documentary if you happen to pick it up at any sort of store. It's called Won't You Be My Neighbor? It's a very good documentary. This is what interests me to go see the actual movie. It's a very good documentary about Mr. Rogers. So, most people are wondering if this movie takes place of, like, Mr. Rogers' entire life. And no, this movie takes place in one year particular, 1998, between the relationship of the journalist and Mr. Rogers. This is based on an actual true story, by the way. And what an amazing story. Not everybody's going to enjoy this movie. It has a very slow pace. But in my opinion, this movie is not necessarily about entertainment. It's more about the story. You know, I love it when a story just tugs at your heartstrings. But I'm going to be completely honest. This movie made me tear up at least a good 3 times throughout the movie. I'm just sitting there holding back so hard. And then, whoop! There goes a tear, just streaming down my face. It's a very sad story, but it has a happy ending. I won't spoil it, but man, if you love a good tearjerker, might I recommend this movie. Tom Hanks was brilliant as Mr. Rogers. You know, when I first saw that he was gonna be Mr. Rogers in the movie, I was like, why'd they pick Tom Hanks? They could have picked anybody else. But now I see why. You know, one, that he's a distant relative of Mr. Rogers, and 2, he nailed that performance to a T. So if anybody's curious to go see this movie, it's now playing in theaters right now, and yeah, I highly recommend it, but warning, you are going to cry. I teared up a good 3 times, I'm not joking. You are going to cry. It's a very sad story that, it's a very sad story for the journalist character, but like I said, it has a happy ending, so thank goodness for that. But anyway, I give this movie a good 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10 at the most. Still a very good rating. Well, anyway, guys, if you enjoyed this review, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and also follow me on Twitter and Instagram. If you want some ATV merch, be sure to click the link in the description below, and I will see you guys next time on ATV.